what do you got to say about what's going on?
I want to say first and foremost, the Eastern Conference playoffs have been weak compared to the West. Like, there's no reason a team, especially the 5th seed in the playoffs, should be getting blown out by 30 at home on prime television. That's just unacceptable. The Bulls need to get their life together. But I did say last episode the brooms was on standby, but it's looking more like a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah, it's a gentleman's sweep, all right. How you feel about Demar Derozan? Because remember, we put him on the fraud list.
He trick y'all, man. He trick y'all. That 140-point game did not move me.
Right.
I wasn't worried at all. I was like, man, he could have that 40-point game. He ain't doing it again.
I'll say this, though, because Khris Middelton got hurt, and it's just unfortunate that all these players, you hear all these things about, like Devin Booker, Khris Middelton, even Joel Embiid just recently with his thumb, or his finger, excuse me, getting injured and everything like that. It's just unfortunate, but the Bucks still were able to go up by 20 and just absolutely obliterate the Chicago Bulls at home, excuse me.
Kyle Lowry also pulled his hamstring.
Kyle Lowry as well, and then there was also a scare with Jimmy Butler, but ultimately he was able to get up and shoot those free throws. So it's just a lot of things are going on in the NBA playoffs. I just hope that we can get away from these injuries and just everybody is healthy, because I don't want an injury-filled playoffs like some have happened in the past. But yeah, DeRozan is a fraud. Like, he's on the fraud watch list. 9 shots. How do you shoot? How does Nikola Vucevic shoot more than you when you're the number 1 option? When you've been in the playoffs so many years, like, it just makes no sense.
Well, you see, the thing is, I ain't watched the game because I was watching the Hawks and Heat, and it was way more interesting because if they wasn't losing by 30 points.
Absolutely.
So I honestly didn't even watch the game, but my best guess is they probably doubled him.
Well, I was watching the highlights.
Okay.
I would say they kind of doubled him. Like, I didn't watch the full game, so I'm only getting it from a highlight point of view. I only saw like 7 minutes. And so they did double him, but I wouldn't say it was like, it wasn't like, you know how like what the Celtics did against Kevin Durant, it was not even close to anything like that, where they just outright, the whole defense was just looking at DeMar DeRozan and nobody else. Like, no, he could have scored more, but he just decided not to. And the Chicago Bulls just, I was watching their effort on defense. It was atrocious. Like, there was like points in the game where Nikola Vucevic, it was transition defense, like just things that you should always be doing in the playoffs when it comes to transitioning down the floor. And he wasn't doing that. And then coming off of screens, like guarding the pick and roll. Like, Zach LaVine was horrible when it came to guarding guys coming off of screens. Like, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Like, I was watching highlights. You can go watch the latest live stream that I did, and I was literally pausing the live stream and pointing out how atrocious Zach LaVine was just guarding guys off ball. It was terrible. And the same could be applied with the other players like Kobe White and even sometimes DeMar DeRozan. Like, these guys, it's like they forgot they're in a playoff game. Like, they forgot, like, oh yeah, these guys are, you know, the reigning champions. They are going to, even without Khris Middelton, they're still going to try to win the game. Like, it's, you know.
They got cocky. They started feeling themselves. I'm like, all right, man. I don't understand what Billy Donovan does to get his team prepared, but it ain't working. Because I follow a few Bulls fans on Twitter, and they've been saying all game, the transition defense was bad, the transition offense was bad,
horrible.
Too many turnovers. It's like they forgot to pass the ball without Lonzo, and DeMar wasn't being aggressive, and Zach LaVine was just out there doing whatever.
Yeah, he was doing whatever. Bro, Alex Caruso warned them. He said last game, you know, appreciate the win, but yo, it's just one win. He told them in the locker room. And they didn't listen to him. They were like, you know what? Just feeling ourselves. We're going home. We're going back to Chicago. They don't got Khris Middelton.
You see, the problem is they not listening to the guy that actually won. He's the only one on the team that actually won something.
Right. And this guy, he's a role player, and he used to look like the leader of the team. Like,
being real.
I never thought Alex Caruso would be in this position where he's the de facto leader of the team. Like, what? In what world? I don't even want to talk
He's like
about.
the glue of the team.
Right. He's
That team without Alex Caruso is.
exactly. But I want to.